Hi guys, and welcome back to Fun Fact Friday. I am so excited about today's video. I love talking about this sort of stuff. Finally filming. I'm literally 3 hours behind what I was meant to be, because I was doing my hair ready for my birthday and it wasn't going to plan. So yeah, I had a bit of a stressful moment with that, but it's here, it's working, so we're just embracing it. But I'm kind of living for it right now. I kind of actually really like it. So my idea was to go silver and obviously go pretty white with the two front pieces of my hair, and I actually cut my own bangs because my bangs had completely grown out, so they needed a bit of a trim. So I just did that, and yeah, we're somewhere. It's working. We'll embrace it for the time being until I can get back to the hairdressers. So anyway, yeah, before we crack on with the video, I just want to let you know that I'm wearing the Style Money in my lashes today. These are from Katie Cosmetics. I'm obsessed, and you can use code KT01 for 10% off your purchases. Honestly, they're incredible. Talked about them in my last video, just talking about them again because I love them. But yeah, let's crack on. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the evolution of eyebrows through the decades. Honestly, it's absolutely crazy when you think about it, on how styles always come back in fashion. We're starting at 1920 all the way up until now 2020. We're 100 years into the eyebrow revolution, which is mad. And like I say, it's absolutely crazy to see how eyebrows, either some element from a different decade comes back into recent times or a couple of decades later. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I love talking about this sort of stuff because I actually had to study and learn all this because I had to do my final essay and portfolio when I was at college studying level 3 hair, media, makeup. I had to do the history of makeup. So yeah, for me, I'm loving it. So this is a 2-part episode. This episode is obviously part 1. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about the style of eyebrow and who inspired them, and obviously you'll see how things come back around. And then in part 2, I'm going to be showing you 3 different eyebrow tutorials. I'm going to be showing you a natural brow, a full brow, and a fluffy or soap brow. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that because I have had a lot of requests on eyebrow tutorials, and everyone wants to do their eyebrows different. They like to do them in their own way, but a guideline and a guidance can be very helpful. Obviously, I want to stick with the themes, 3 different eyebrow looks, and they are all inspired over the past 100 years of eyebrows. So yeah, let's get chatting. I've already filmed this video, but I must have accidentally deleted the 1920s, so here we go. Starting off with the 1920s, we had a thin and rounded arched brow. There's not much to really say about the 1920s other than that it was, you know, the start of people filling in their eyebrows, and slapper girls were really trendy, and they kind of started off this whole thin eyebrow trend in the roaring 20s. And yeah, it was literally just stick thin eyebrows, really over plucked, like literally like tiny stick thin. And obviously I will be inserting pictures throughout the video of what the eyebrows actually did look like throughout the years. Moving on to the 1930s, I just want to let you know I do have some pointers in front of me, so if you catch me looking down, it's just so I can follow through. So 1930s, this was the strong and arched brow. So stars like Billie Holiday defined the bolder, more fleshed out arches of a brow. So it was making them basically look stronger and more intense when you were to look at someone, so you could really like see that eyebrow. We're in the 1940s now, and this is the decade of a full and more naturally arched brow, and this was the beginning of it. So we've gone from stick thin eyebrows and then eyebrows that are like really in your face to then just embracing the natural eyebrows you have. Joan Crawford really inspired women to embrace the natural brows and to be like, come on girls, like embrace the natural brow. Don't be spending all that time to fill your eyebrows in, just embrace the natural brow. And funny enough, we've now come back around and we're in 2020 and a natural brow is once again inspired and embraced. So yeah. Okay, so rolling on into the 60s, we have the short and mod brow. So the eyes became a really big focal point in the 60s, and that was thanks to Twiggy. She set this cool trend on eye makeup. So that meant with this beautiful trend of eye makeup that she started, which then led to us having short and neat and more understated brows, so you could really focus on that eye. So it's in the 1950s now, and in the 1950s it was an arched and bushy brow, but more definition was added to those natural brows with a subtle arch. So we were back to embracing these natural eyebrows, or we wanted a bit more of an arch. We wanted it to be more defined, but not too crazy. And Marilyn Monroe is actually the one that started to set this trend on this natural bushy brow with a subtle refined arch anyway. So in the 1980s, thick and natural brows was where it was at. So full natural brows spiked and became very, very trendy, thanks to beauty icons like Brooke Shields. She had gorgeously thick eyebrows which didn't need anything doing to them, so no wonder she just was embracing it. But her doing that then set off this brow trend once again of a naturally thick brow. 1990s was completely the opposite to 1980, and skinny brows were back. They were over plucked, and this was to create more thin shapes of your eyebrows. So for example, the tail or the body of the eyebrow. It was done to define your face, and this was very common in models. Models started doing this in the 1990s, and it once again set a trend, and then everyone was doing it. It was to basically show off their face more. In the 2000s, baby, this was the decade, should I say, of pencil thin arched brows. It was a very grungy type of look. You could barely see them, and we call them barely there brows. It was very common in pop stars at the time, such as Christina Aguilera. She was very well known for having this eyebrow trend. They were very into this look at the time in the 2000s. This was, if you didn't have that brow, what the hell were you doing? That's basically the gist of it. Moving closer to this year, it then became the 2010. So bold brows were back. And as the Kardashian clan started to ascend to power, so did a strong, powerful brow that followed with them, and everyone was embracing once again that thick brow. It was to create a statement, it was to be bold, it was to stand out, and it most certainly set a trend, because I remember that's when the year of big brows took its toll. We saw some big brows, I am telling you that now. From 2010, I'm going to 2015 now. I know it was decades, but because in recent times eyebrows were constantly changing over and over and over, it's gone from being every decade to pretty much every year now there is a new eyebrow trend. So in 2015 it was the world-renowned Instagram brow. Everyone knows this. Everyone was trying to get this brow, the perfect Instagram brow, and this year actually marked that. It was inspired by beauty influencers who were, you know, creating all these crazy cool looks, and obviously an Instagram brow followed with that. Beauty influencers like Patrick Starr were very well known for doing this at the time, and still is. They were perfectly brushed up at the front, then fading into that super defined arch all the way down to the tail of your brow. I remember I was dying to know how to do the perfect Instagram brow at the time because it was so in and everyone was doing it. It was when everyone was investing in Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade. It was, yeah, it was crazy. I remember how popular that brow was. Okay, so it's only the year after now, we're in 2016, and a lot of people started to bleach their eyebrows. This was a very cool eyebrow look, but something I could never pull off. But I did see a lot of people doing it and I thought, wow, like they actually look insane. But personally myself, I would never be brave enough to do that. I just braved doing my bloody hair myself until I can get back to the hairdressers and look what happened. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, bleached brows were very, very in 2016. But once again, the Instagram brow from 2015 was still very trendy at that time. In 2017, we had two crazy looking eyebrows, and I think it sent the internet into absolute chaos. And that was the wacky wavy brow unusual feather brows. And in these pictures you will know exactly what I'm on about, because everyone was like, why would you do your eyebrows like that? And yes, I kind of agree, it was just a bit wacky and weird. There was loads of other ones that year, or even in 2018 there was bejeweled eyebrows, there was emoji eyebrows, so people were casting out their eyebrow or even shaving it off and then drawing emojis on top of it to create their eyebrow. There was loads of wacky crazy stuff going on in 2017 2018 with the eyebrows, but yeah, they were the two main ones that really struck that year. In 2018 there was a lot of dyed eyebrows going on. From the arch of the eyebrow to the end was a different colour, whether that be blonde or pink or blue or whatever colour you wanted to go. That was another crazy trend that was set. But once again, 2015, that Instagram brow was still very much trending in 2018, and I'm pretty sure still up until now. I know a lot of people that still do that sort of eyebrow. I sometimes do that sort of eyebrow, but hardly ever anymore. I've not done it in probably months because I just prefer having more of a natural brow now. And 2019 was once again just a full filled brow, a very bold, kind of like an Instagram brow but slightly evolved. It's pretty much was exactly the same, but they were a lot bolder. Some people went a lot thicker with the brows, but yeah, it was a very full brow moment for 2019. And now we are in 2020, and 2020 is the year of natural or fluffy / soap brows. can't lie, I am obsessed with a natural or fluffy brow at the minute. I was dying to try the soap brow and I did, and I was obsessed. I don't actually have it today, but as you can see, it's literally a bit of powder product through my eyebrows with a bit of brow gel. I am obsessed with the fluffy soap brow look. I didn't particularly like it at the start because I didn't think my eyebrows would suit that look, and I didn't feel like my eyebrows were really that thick to be doing it, because I was thinking, oh no, you need really thick brows to do it. And I actually just thought one day, you know what, stuff it, I'm gonna try it, and I did, and then I became obsessed, because it doesn't matter how thick or thin your eyebrows are, you can still achieve the same result, which I think is incredible. Because it also, if you do have thin brows, the fluffy soap brow look is perfect if you want to make the illusion of having bigger brows, because it does create that illusion, but then it also keeps it very natural at the same time, and I just think it looks absolutely stunning. I look back and I think, how did so many people wear bold Instagram brows, for example, with typical Instagram makeup, which was these crazy intense, you know, beautiful eyes, but with also a beautiful bold eyebrow. And you look now, and if you're doing a bold look and a very full-on look, then a lot of people now turn to that fluffy soap brow instead of having such an intense brow with such an intense eye makeup, which, to be honest, I think is stunning. I think it looks gorgeous having a beautiful natural fluffy brow and a bold beautiful eye makeup. I just think it looks absolutely stunning. So guys, that is the end of part 1. I really enjoyed doing this video today. I've loved talking about the history of eyebrows. When I was learning about the history of makeup, it was really interesting to see how certain things and styles came back around, just like eyebrows, for example. We've come back around once again to more of a natural brow. We've gone for more of a fluffy brow. So, you know, the different styles always come back, which is so interesting, and I think it's so cool, because it just means that if it goes out of fashion, it might be back in fashion a few years later. It's such a true thing when people say it'll go out of fashion, but it'll always come back in fashion. Like, just look at tie-dye, for example. A few years ago, tie-dye was really like cool, everyone wanted it, like everywhere was selling it, but they had like loads of like different prints on them and stuff like that. But then it went out of fashion. Everyone's like, oh no, tie-dye, that's so disgusting. And now once again we're back round full circle, and tie-dye is literally everywhere right now. And I've always loved tie-dye. I have been obsessed with tie-dye always, so this whole tie-dye trend is just fabulous. But yeah, it just shows, doesn't it? It just shows. I really hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I did, and I hope you join me for part 2. So don't forget, in part 2 there is going to be 3 different eyebrow tutorials. They're only going to be mini tutorials, but still they are going to be as in depth in a short space of time as I can do them. But I'm excited to do that next week, and I will see you later. Bye guys.